week or so we talked about doing more, focusing and kind of regrouping after 1 and 3, and then go out and have a loss like that. So how do you bounce back mentally this week?
Same mindset. Going into the week, you're gonna either do two things. Win or lose. Unfortunately, we lost the game, but the mindset doesn't change. We felt like we prepared well, but sometimes the cookies just crumbles that way. But again, we're looking to regroup and go out there and get a dub this week.
Amari, some of the mental mistakes offensively that you saw in Game 5, like we've seen for a couple of weeks here. What has to happen for those self-inflicted wounds to get cleaned up so that you guys can be in better game situations?
Yeah, that's definitely been an emphasis this week. Obviously, I won't divulge too much of what our game plan is going to be going into this week, but we've definitely been harping on the fact that we've had too many, mental errors, and we're definitely looking to change that. So,
Ryan,
yeah.
what is your role in trying to make sure that Deshaun understands that you guys have his back, that you guys are supporting him when it seems like the whole world is against him and wanting him to be banished and all that kind of stuff?
There and try to play your best. That's my role in that. Nothing else really matters. All the words, all the talking, things of that nature. Just want to play as well as I can to make his job easier.
It's been a while since you guys scored a lot of points. Do you think everyone's buying into this new offense?
Um, like we always say, it doesn't necessarily matter the play that's being called. It's the lack of execution. Never blame the play caller. It's always the players out there who are trying to execute the plays. At the end of the day. So.
Marty, the prevailing theme is that you guys are preparing well up until game day, and then game day comes and you guys just fall flat. So what do you think is happening in those game days that's just the preparation isn't translating?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can practice well, but at the end of the day, you still have a mission on Sunday that you have to complete. We haven't completed the mission in a couple of weeks now. So we just got to keep going back to the drawing board so that we can try to achieve that. Obviously, I could say that we could come out here and keep practicing hard and all those things, but it truly is any given Sunday in this league. So we have to definitely find a way to go out there and perform on Sunday. So that's what we're looking to do.
Is this kind of
It just seems like you guys aren't obviously making any drastic changes right now as a team. Is it just the fact that you guys feel like you haven't been executing out on the field, that you don't need a drastic panic change right now?
I mean, we are making changes. One of the things that Coach Kev is emphasizing is that we need a spark, and it can come from anywhere. And they're definitely doing some things to try to create that spark that I won't divulge, but that definitely is an emphasis for sure.
is this offense more complicated than the one you ran the last 2 years?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say so. No.
Amari, do you feel like the offense needs to run it better to kind of take some pressure off Deshaun in the passing game, especially if teams are playing as much, I guess, too high safety as Deshaun says they happen?
Yeah, I think we need to do everything better. I think we need to run better. I think we need to run better routes. I think we need to, everything, block, whatever. Everybody can be a little bit better for this team. So, yeah.
What gives you the confidence or the feeling or the notion that Deshaun Watson is a quarterback who can still play a winning football?
Just knowing him, knowing how he prepares, knowing his mindset, knowing just the type of person, player he is. I definitely do feel that way. Again, obviously we've gotten off to a start that we didn't necessarily want to get off to, but we still have a lot of time to turn things around. I believe we'll do that.
And Amari, as you guys, if you guys don't start winning some games, are you blocking out the thought or the feeling that perhaps maybe it could make some sense for another team to come grab you and throw you out?
I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about us not winning some games. I'm thinking about us winning some games. So that doesn't even cross my mind.
Amari,
Amari, just as the losses kind of stack up here, like you guys are saying all the right things publicly to us and everything, and it seems like outwardly that you're staying together as a group. I mean, how hard is that to do, and why do you think you guys are kind of bending, not breaking right now?
I wouldn't say we're bending. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to do to jump off the ship when it's sinking. I guess I would say, but I mean that's what. I don't even consider myself that type of person. You know, that's what people who aren't dedicated do. That's what people who aren't committed do. Things get hard sometimes. You just have to fight your way through it. I'm a fighter. I know the guys on this team, they're fighters, and that's what fighters do. You know, until the end, fight until the end. So that's what we're gonna do.
Amari, the outside perception, just looking at the offense, the lack of production, the lack of scoring, the troubles that you guys have had from an execution standpoint is just like there's just so many things that need to be addressed and fixed. So where do you start when there's just so many things on that list that need to be tightened up? Where do you start in that? What's the first thing that has to happen that maybe can get the dominoes falling in the right direction?
I mean, it's easy to say, but it definitely starts with a win. The win is what creates the momentum. The momentum is what creates the confidence. So now, what will get us to the win? Again, the same thing that we've been preaching. You know, going out there, you know, practicing, executing in practice, practicing like we're a winning team. We're a team that wants to win. Doing all the right things, doing a little bit extra in every aspect of our daily lives as football players, whether that's watching more film, getting more treatment, taking care of the body a little bit more, just a little bit extra in everything.
When you look back at that fourth down where you had 12 guys out there, when you have time to think back on it, could you guys have done anything different on the field as opposed to having to take a timeout or a penalty there? Did you just send somebody back off to the sideline?
Yeah, so you know, generally that would have been a penalty, but I actually stood outside of the huddle because I saw that there were too many guys. But the thing is, we do have to communicate better as it relates to the personnel, so that we know exactly who should be in the game. So going back, that's what we need to do better. When whoever is coming in is, you know, taking somebody out of the game, they need to be shouting the personnel. And you know, that's one of the things that we do harp on in practice, but again, we have to make it translate to the game. So, yeah.
You were one of the
Such a
guys
student.
counting.
You're such a student of the game, and Deshaun mentioned that after the past game that you guys would maybe talk to the coaches about how you can maybe utilize guys better or strategize better. Have you guys kind of shared your views and thoughts on what you can do to jumpstart this offense?
Yeah, it's like I alluded to earlier. It's not nothing that, you know, I can necessarily share or give away right now, but of course, I mean, the players want to win, the coaches want to win, so conversations, you know, have been had on, you know, things that we can do to get us closer to winning. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you, Amari.
Thank you.
birthday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks.
Another one. Another one? That's two this year. You think.
Joel, you've been in some 1-4 situations in the past. Does this one feel any different? Is there still reason for optimism with as many games as you have left?
Yeah, we are. We're very focused on this week, but we understand, where we were last year, where we've been before with this team. We got to find a way to win a game. That's really where it's at, and then find a way to win the next one. There's definitely urgency. Like, I'm not going to say panic, but we're urgent. We want to be urgent. We need to be as urgent as possible because it's a big game for us. But the guys, I think, understand like what situation we're in. But I do think there is optimism that we can turn this thing around.
Why do you think it's been so hard to kind of find whatever the sweet spot is for this offense? I know you've had a lot of moving parts, et cetera, but what would you say?
Yeah, truthfully, it comes down to execution. Like, you watch the film and you see, too many MAs, and it's not just one position group. Like, one time it's like the line, blowing a block. The next time it's, the receivers running the wrong route or dropping a pass, and then the next time it's, the quarterback missed one, and it just all adds up, and it's frustrating. So it comes down to executing, and it comes down to just playing one play at a time, and truthfully, no one has to do too much. We just have to do our job.
When there's so many, you point out those things, and just from the outside looking in, it's also easy to see. So where do you begin when it's not just one thing that you can say, hey, we tighten this, we're in good shape. It feels like there's a lot of things that have to be tightened up.
Yeah, I think it's accountability on each person. Like, we've talked about it, and that's the frustrating part. Is like you talk about it, and it's like actions have to happen eventually. You have to eventually do, but each room, each person is responsible, and we talked about in the O-line room, like, you got to take care of yourself before you can start helping other people. So make sure you're right in your book, and then you can help the guy next to you on the left and the right. And a lot of it is a group sport, especially 5 linemen. But it's truthfully like looking yourself in the mirror and being like, what can I do right to make sure that I'm locked in. I know all my assignments. I know what I'm supposed to do, and then going out eventually like blocking the guy in front of you.
Cooper mentioned that some of the offensive guys had conversations with the coaches this week to try to help the offensive conversation that went beyond just regular interaction during the week. Are linemen involved in those two? Is that a senior meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Coop's had his talks. I've talked to Coach Stefanski throughout the season. There wasn't like a special like group meetup or anything this week that I know of.
It could have been a position meeting.
Yeah, correct.
So what do you make of all of the calls for Deshaun Watson's benching this week every time you turn on the radio or the TV or wherever you go?
Yeah, I think we have to be able to put him in a position to be successful. Like, I've talked about it before. Like, the O-line has to play a perfect game before we can be like, hey, we gotta fix something else. Like, we have to give him a chance. We have to block good enough. We have to play good enough as an offense, less MAs. Before we get into pointing fingers at other people.
Joel, I know this would be your 150th game coming up on Sunday. Just knowing how much it means to you guys as an O-line and you personally to be available, just kind of your thoughts on that milestone.
Yeah, Dan let me know about that this morning, so he's on top of it. 150th start here, and you look at the names that are around you or ahead of you on the list, and it's I mean, just the history of the Cleveland Browns and what they've done. It's pretty special, and I'm. There's a lot of luck that comes into staying healthy and being available, but that's one thing. Anytime I have a chance, I want to be out there for my teammates and just give it a go. But it's a cool stat, and hopefully we can get a win in the 150th one.
Joel, when you think back to your first couple of starts, and then kind of look at Zach, who's kind of going through it, what do you remember from your starts and that you've tried to impart on him as he's tried to go through this transition?
I talked to him about it being a long season. The NFL is such a week-to-week business, you know what I mean? And to be fair to him, like, we went into a couple tough road environments for him against D tackles that are top 10 D tackles in the NFL. And so that's like a huge challenge. And I told him, like, hey, like, You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. We have to keep battling. We have to keep trusting your technique. You never want to go into it and be like, man, this wasn't working. You know, the one time you did it, like you have to use your hands. You have to trust your technique. You have to stay focused. And to his credit, he's been, you know, very coachable and trying to learn. And I think the future is bright for him. Like I said, it was very tough environments for him, tough opponents. And he's working, and he has the same attitude, and he's trying to get better, and he's trying to improve. I was very lucky to play between Joe and Alex my first, you know, couple starts, and they just told me what to do, and I just played as hard as I could, you know, and so that was easy for me. Not everybody's as lucky as that situation, but he is focused on improving, and like all of us, getting better each week.
That doesn't let up this week for him.
No, it does not. No, they have, you know, Jalen Carter's a great player. Their D-line's, you know, the strength. I feel like I said it every week. The D-line's been the strength of the defenses that we've been playing. So it'll be a big challenge, but he's locked in. He's focused. He's, like I said, trying to improve every day.
Do you guys feel like there are things that you can do to move the ball even against the pressure that you're going to face and the things that you guys have going at?
Yeah, I think we have
Set of things?
a great game plan. I think we saw some stuff late in the game, you know, with running the ball, with getting the ball to the hands, you know, of the quarterback a little quicker, protecting better. But no, I think we have a good plan. I think we're gonna be ready to execute this week and be ready to go.
You guys have talked about owning your record, being 1-4. But how do you balance that of owning that 1-4 record, but not losing, you know, the weeks to come?
To me, it's easy because it's a week-to-week business. Like, we have to play the Eagles this week. We have to win the game. Like, truthfully, in my head, it doesn't. Like, we are 1-4. That's what our record is, but it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm playing this game the same way regardless. So you go out there, you give it 100%. You try and win this game, and you know, see what happens the next week.
As an offensive line, how do you think the line has been, and how much change has there been to the first 5 games of the season? Maybe because you're, you know, running more shotgun as opposed to like under center, wide zone.
Yeah, it's been a little bit different, you know, to start the year of just more gun runs, more things like that. Truthfully, we haven't had like too many shots at it. Like we've ran the ball at a lower clip. I thought in the second half this you know, week we started throwing some G scheme in there. We had some good runs. We had some traps and some whams that hit. So there was some couple different schemes, but I think we're getting more comfortable. And you know, if we do call runs, like we have to execute them. So you know, we trust ourselves to call them again.
Joel, how have you seen Jack kind of handle? It looked like he was so close to coming back. Then he has the hamstring, hasn't been able to get back. How have you seen him kind of handle that frustration?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you come back from such a, you know, obviously Nick's injury was very public and very gruesome, but Jack had a pretty serious knee injury himself. So he's worked to come back and have been focused for us, and I think he was getting ready to go, and you know, a hamstring went right before that. So he was frustrated for it, but I know he's been working, and he's been trying to be you know, a coach for some of the younger guys when he's in the meeting room with us.
Joel, the run game struggles. Is that, you kind of mentioned that you guys haven't been able to do a ton of it to this point. Is that more so just, you know, it's not execution-wise, maybe you guys aren't creating the holes and things that you want to, so it hasn't worked, or is it just that they're not calling as many run plays as usual?
I mean, it's a mix. Like, you watch the game, like early in the game, there were some calls where, you know, we miss a run through back or they have a great blitz called into it. So that comes down to execution, you know, but other times, you know, sometimes with the run game, you just got to 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards. It's kind of the way it works in the NFL. But we can always execute better, and we can always we have to execute better.
Joe used to talk about how the losing would get to him year after year. How are you handling the 1-4 record just from an emotional standpoint?
Oh, it's incredibly frustrating. You know, you want to win games. That's why you play the game. That's why I play the game. I'm in year 11. Like, I've done everything I need to do in my career. I just want to win, and so it's incredibly frustrating. But that's why I'm here every day, because we're going to work and we're going to try and do everything possible to win these games. But yeah, if you come to work for any other reason, like, that's, you know, it's great. Like, we get paid a ton of money. We get, you know, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do you find a way to win?
Hey Joel, I think it was during the broadcast of the Raiders game, it was mentioned that you were sharing notes, I think specifically with Zach Zinter, and I think you referenced it afterward too.
Yeah.
So what's all going into that? Is that a new thing, and what are you trying to pass along?
Yeah, I think everybody's a little different, but, you know, like Wyatt has his own way of playing and his own style, and he's played a lot of football. But with Zach, I was just like, hey, this is what my key points as a guard in this game, like what I'm focused on, and I just try and write that out and share it with him. It was tough because he has kind of a different, sometimes they switch sides and you play against the same guy, but he was kind of playing against a different guy that week. But I tried to watch his film and talk about his pass rush. And truthfully, there's 5 to 10 plays a game where it's like, this is a key reminder here, this is a key focus point. And that's just really what I tried to stress to him.
So are you keeping that up? Is that, you hand him notes this week? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's more just like Saturday night or Friday we go over, the reminders, and he has some thoughts too. But truthfully, I just make a page at the end of the week, and it's like guard notes for the week, and I try and write them out and get it so we're on the same page.
Anybody do that for you?
Well, like I said, great mentorship. I remember Joe doing it with Mitch. The tackles would kind of have a meeting before the game about some of the big key reminders, and that kind of pushed the idea to me.
Would you have to lean on Greco?
Yeah, Greco was great. I sat next to him in meetings, and he made sure I was doing the right thing.
Do they flip Carter? I mean,
I would say 95% he's on the right side.
So
but on third downs, like pass rush, they'll run some giant fronts and things where he's on the left side, but most of the time he is on the right guard.
So going back to the 150 games, are you a reflective person? Do you ever take time to look back on your career, or is that for later?
Mostly for later. I mean, every once in a while in the off season or a big milestone comes up, you think about how special it is. But for me, I'm just trying to win this week.
Thanks.
Great, thanks.